Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2, The Silence and the Fury, where there's a lot more silence than fury all of a sudden. I feel like every single time I hit the record button, the music stops. I mean, granted, we don't have a lot of music anyway. The Beastmen do not know how to play a ton of instruments, and their hands aren't really designed for it, but there's usually at least something going on. Alright, let's continue, shall we? Let's continue feeding this blood, this herdstone. We set ourselves up a nice blood ground here. We got a few points left to pull out. How's Morgur doing? Are we almost through the walls here? Are we almost starving them? We are in fact almost starving them. So at this point, with 3 siege towers up, the game would just give us the decisive victory, so I guess we'll take it. I'm not exactly sure why. This is probably like a math thing, because like in theory, siege towers shouldn't actually be that helpful for this army. A big part of the problem that this army in particular is going to have dealing with walled settlements is that there's just no way to get a Centaur onto a wall. The siege elevators are not going to do the thing. They sure as hell can't climb a ladder. You have to punch through the gate, or you have to blow up the wall and make a big hole in it so that they can get through. This is very much an open field kind of army. I am in fact going to take the auto-resolve if it's going to give it to us. Because this army has places to be and things to do. But it's a little tiny bit silly that worked. They think we'll probably take raise in advance here. We did take a lot of damage on that one, and I would like to fix that quickly. And then your plan is actually to fall back and pick up that Jabberslythe, right? We definitely want that in this army. We need the replenishment. Yeah, even with the bonus replenishment, we are still nowhere near fixing all the damage we took there. Walls, it turns out, are a pretty large advantage in a battle, and even more so against an army that mostly cannot fit on top of a wall, like the Chaos Spawns. I think large infantry also cannot go up in the ladder, so fighting up on the walls, it would have just been like our Gore Herd versus their Temple Guard, and I do not give us very good odds in that situation. There is a good reason that I was not willing to just run straight at them there. So Torox is continuing to level up. Let's get you even more melee attack. I like 87 melee attack. I feel like that's going to get through the melee defense of even most combat hero types. And then, so now to finish feeding the Bloodstone, we got to hit the Temple of Kara and Spectazuma. When we do either of those things, we're going to be opening up a front with another enemy, an enemy who might otherwise have been too distracted to fight us.
There'll be no pacts. Leave, or I shall exercise my right to execute you.
Okay, Marcus does not understand how rights work. Strength rank 21 is somewhat significant, but we definitely are overpowering them. They have, how many settlements? 3 right now. We can see 2 of them, and we have an indication of the direction of the 3rd. We know that this faction, on the other hand, has like 6 settlements, running like all the way down the map. So basically, this war, this conflict where we have to expect enemies to actually be coming at us to reclaim their territory is going to go on for a lot longer. It's also worth noting that fighting the Sentinels of Zeti, they probably don't have anything else to do. They can focus their full military strength against us, while the Hunts Marshals Empire has other stuff around it that might potentially... in fact, they are at war with their eastern neighbors, and I think we're going to have an easy time just like sewing this up real quickly, and then we can work on all this stuff. And actually, pushing down through their territory, by the time we're down at the bottom of it and closing up this faction, we'll be pretty close to Itza. So let's go after the Hunts Marshal first. You are my next target. So if we rampage, we can just hit the Temple of Kara this turn.
The nation calls.
That army's not inside the garrison, or not inside the settlement, but they're certainly close enough to provide reinforcements, and they are tired. I wish I knew what they were. Do I have hiring capacity for another hero? I don't right now, right? Yeah, we're full up on Gorbals and Prey Shamans and Wargors, I'm fairly sure. We have a lot of dread, though. That's fixable. I'm gonna make us another Minotaur. Sorry, Lords and Heroes, buy me Gorbal capacity. He won't actually be useful this turn, but we should have him so that we have another scout down here. Unsated Bloodthirst. I mean, that's a fun one. Okay, none of this stuff actually affects map actions at all, which is a shame because this is definitely a map character. Let's get Da the Wildheart then. I think his name is adorable. Sadly, he spawns with no movement, so like I said, not terribly useful this turn. Alright, to some degree, we just want to gather up our 3 armies, because there is some troop trading that we want to happen before we send Morgar off to his quest battle and everything. So I'm going to try to put us in a position where we can do that. Yeah, you definitely just need a little bit of help. Malagor's army is so slow. And you can't really afford to move. Okay. While we're at it, let's take a look. Let's take a look over the rewards of Dread again, because we have Dread building up, we have Favor building up, and we don't, for the first time, I feel like we don't have anything that we urgently need to do with it. So, in order to get the ability to increase the capacity of our big monsters, okay, everything is at the next threshold. Ruination level 5, which we may even get to off. We will get to off of this Herdstone actually. So that's cool. Army capacity goes up again when we hit 6. All right. There is still Khazrak One-Eye. What's my current army capacity? It is +3. So actually, we could be running one more stack. Maybe we should recruit Khazrak the One-Eye and get our 4th army going. I don't know what we would make it out of. I feel like his army is going to be mostly just like Ungor and Gore at this point. But yeah, that's probably worth doing. It's probably worth just having the bodies out. And then what other upgrades are available? We can still do Herdstone stuff. Obviously, upgrading our Herdstones has some immediate value because the newer Herdstones come in with much better garrisons, so that we're less likely to lose them before we ritual. New armies get to start at a higher level with some buildings. I like this upgrade line in theory, but I do wonder if this is too small of a benefit for the amount of dread you have to spend to get here. It doesn't feel all that great, does it? You get the first level on the Horde building and the Den and the Scorched Grass Plains. It's like one upgrade and one recruitment building. And I don't know if this line down here is probably a little bit more interesting, but by the time you can afford to do it, it's probably a little bit late. Yeah, I think we're gonna start putting together that 4th army. All right, what are the magic items over here? We haven't even really looked at these. So that's a follower that gives 10% campaign movement range. That seems pretty good. Each army can only benefit from one of these because you can't run multiples of the same follower. But every army should have one of these. It is a lot of favor. The Banner of Unholy Exaltation will give 1 unit a fair amount of physical resistance. That's interesting. Plus 40 melee attack and 50% weapon strength? Wow. Yeah, it better be expensive. That seems very good indeed. And then here, physical resistance 10%. And of course, I can't mouse over that ability to know what it does. What is passive ability Banner of Madness? That's useful information. It makes it very hard to know whether it's worth purchasing this. Okay, but I mean, yeah, giving a unit 10% physical resistance and terror seems pretty significant. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start by buying battle-scarred Ungor Raiders for all of our armies, and then we'll go back to upgrading armies with gold afterward. So this is Blood Frenzy. Oh, see, this one, this one has a proper mouse over. I wonder why the Banner of Madness doesn't. Weird. Okay, so it restores some of your vigor, gives you a bunch of bonus damage. That seems pretty cool as armor. Charge bonus and Vanguard deployment. That's pretty okay. Ooh, a regeneration ability that gives perfect vigor. I was gonna say a regeneration ability that doesn't give fire vulnerability is kind of cool, but also it's also perfect vigor. And 10 ward save and 20. Wow. Wow, that's a good item. 10,000 favor. Makes sense. That is a fair price. This is an item that gives you 2 charges of Summon a Cygor at 7,000. These are very good. These are way good and very expensive, appropriately expensive. I feel like we should probably distribute some of this stuff to the guy who's about to go into the quest battle, right? Maybe the battle scored Ungor Raiders wait a second. Having a blind eye of seeing on his army's wizard is probably worth a whole lot. 2 extra Cygors is a big deal. Yeah, alright, I'm doing it. I am commit. Look at me and all the commit I do. You, friend, I bought you a fun new toy. No, sorry, it would be an arcane item. That said, we probably do have some other stuff we could equip you. So this makes the unit unbreakable temporarily for when you see somebody wavering. The potion of strength only targets self. Not so good for the wizard. Sure, we have a little bit of armor for you, and that should probably go to somebody who's actually going to use it in melee. I will make my wizard magic resistant. That seems fine. Also, you can have a familiar. Yeah, every once in a while you gotta go through and make sure people actually have gear. I think that's fine. The Helm of Many Eyes is also fine. A Potion of Foolhardiness. Honestly, I think I would rather he have the Potion of Strength. Not so much a charge bonus type character, you know? Get ourselves a discount on horde buildings, because boy, they sure do get expensive, huh? All right, yeah, let's go ahead and start up that 4th army. Hey, Kazrak, welcome aboard. Do I want to buy an upgrade here? Well, he probably already exists on the map and has his own army and stuff going, so it's probably not worth it. Let us, in fact, acquire Kazrak the One-Eye. That's okay. The game thinks this is my capital, is why that was the zoom. Show me all my armies. So this is the army that we gained. And I'm assuming Kazrak exists but is, like, injured. This army's not even good. Kazrak's in the recruit pool. He is level 8. He just has that one eye. Yeah, okay. I'm going to disband your army because it seems awful. And I am, once again, going to just... you know, at least they got some rank 5 stuff here. Get out of here. Get out of here with this noise. I am, in fact, going to put Kazrak over here. But I'm starting to think maybe we should break these armies apart. Maybe it should be 2 groups of 2. We could cover more ground that... I don't know. I don't know what the right move is. I'll tell you what, though. Let's get this guy in here and see what his whole deal is. So, first of all, he already has his legendary weapon. That's nice. Is that his only? No, there is another legendary he'll get the quest for very soon. He's already on his chariot, which it doesn't seem like the right thing to focus on to me, but fine. He's got his hooves. He's got bonus battle loot. That's the only item he has. Should I steal somebody's armor for him? I think, you know, if he's on a chariot, giving him some missile resistance probably makes a lot of sense, and the wizard doesn't really need it so badly. Those I'll leave where they are. You have a zealot and a flying spy. And the ambusher trait, which I appreciate. Okay, we can build you into something, my friend. So, poison for all Ungors, vanguard deployment for Bestigors. All right, he's just kind of like a general melee infantry sort of guy. Bestial cunning seems very good. Yeah, he just kind of buffs up the general weak melee dudes. Okay, well, that's actually really a good fit because that's all we have left for him, right? That's the only stuff he's going to be able to recruit here. So since we just took on, oh yeah, encase yourself in the herdstone. Since we just took on a new character here, obviously, we do have access to an awful lot of recruitment capacity. He even has buffs to the missile strength of the Ungor Raiders, so that's cool. Get some of those. Do we want to throw harpies in his army? Is that even like a valuable thing to do? Have some chaos spawn, I guess. I mean, we'll fill the army up as quickly as we can and we'll figure it out later. That's my plan. My plan is don't plan. Figure it out later. So the Temple of Kara is... How built up do we think this is? It doesn't have a proper garrison building. It could be pretty developed, though. I think the amount of favor that we're able to wring out of a place by burning it down depends on how many of its building slots are filled and how advanced the buildings in those slots are. So we would like for this to be very developed. But it's hard to know because we know there's been a lot of strife in this area, right? Stuff has been changing hands a lot. So, do we want casualty replenishment, a big bestial rage boost? You know, I probably just want more... What if more good at fighting? Can you imagine a world where more good at fighting? Because my primary value as a leader is the hope that I instill, you know? Alright, I think... Spectazuma has walls, but only has an 8-unit garrison. I'm sort of thinking maybe we only send a couple units over to the temple. We grab this too. And then we just have 2 units kind of stay back here and play potential defense against the sentinels while we finish off. Nah, let's burn the Hunts Marshal at maximum effectiveness. Again, I gotta remember, I do intend for these armies to meet up and exchange units a little bit. Because, like, there's a Jabberslythe that needs a new home, and... Why don't you just go ahead and pass that over? So Jabberslythe in, what goes out? We definitely want to keep all the Centigores and the Chaos spawn active in this one. Honestly, just like okay melee troops is probably the real answer. Yeah, just like have a unit of Gore. Is there any other trade I want to make here? Probably not. Morgar's army is weird, for sure. It is not a way that I usually would build an army. Alright, I see no reason not to just burn the Temple of Kara with Taurox real quick, because they did abandon it. Oh, it's an act of war, is it? Well, pardon me. Alright, obviously. Just roll right over them. And yeah, okay, I'll take that. And then stealth back into the shadows. It turns out the fightiness penalty for being stealthed is kind of irrelevant if the fightiness penalty, yeah, for being stealthed is kind of irrelevant if you just win a battle every turn. So do we want to increase the rate at which we spread chaos corruption? I mean, I'm trying to figure out, like, what is the useful thing for Bravener to take now? Because there's not really much reason to take these things that improve his effectiveness at map actions. We're never going to pull him out of the army and have him do map actions. You, on the other hand, you have lots and lots of important stuff to do. You know, we could take a little bit of an armor boost. His armor's not all that great. And it looks like we don't really need the replenishment boost. Certainly not this early. You head over in this direction to prepare for scouting. Someday you will do some scouting. Do I just want to trade in maybe the good melee troops here? So let's see. Fueled by blood, speed and vigor loss reduction for the whole army. Yeah, this stuff's all looking pretty familiar. They took Rune of the True Beast and Slug Skin, so the whole army gets missile resistance. I would probably have gone the other way on that, but it's fine. So what do we want to take while we're waiting to reach the level for this? Do we just want to push through the red line and like take Fury of the Herd? Since he's so specialized already in these basic infantry units? Yeah, probably. Doing a lot of red line with this faction. But it's because most of our units are so bad. So Malagor has this stuff. Where are we going to end up with Malagor, really? We have the ability to run 10 million harpies, but the army still needs a heart. Like, harpies, especially harpies with fear, can do some things, but the army still needs to be able to actually stand and fight while the harpies do the flanking, so I'm reluctant to pull too much of the good melee. No, I guess for the moment, his thing can still just be Ungor. You know, they have poison when they're under his command. It's something. And we will just generate additional capacity for the better melee units, is how we'll solve this problem. Oh, well, you know, there are some regiments of renown available. Hold on a second. Ungrab 2 of those. Oh, we have a 6-turn cooldown on these guys because they were just dismissed from an army. And you know what? I'm not giving you the Jabberslythe. What am I talking about? Go ahead and rehire those. Am I going to give Morgur the other Jabberslythe? I think so. I don't think we need chariots in this army so much. Maybe I should pass these over to Khazrak. Yeah, okay. That's the thing we'll do next turn. We'll trade some chariots to Khazrak. He can pursue that route a little bit. Do we want to level up Morgur's buildings? Honestly, I don't know. I guess I do want the Jabberslythe building here so that he can recruit his own if he loses them. We don't want him to necessarily be tied to the other armies. Yeah, at some point everybody should get to Cursed Labyrinth. And I know I wanted to buy other upgrades for him as well, but they'll just have to wait. There's lots of stuff in that favor menu that we're just going to have to wait on. I should pass like a giant or maybe one of the Gorgons out of Torox's army as well to Khazrak, probably, just to give him a little bit of something to work around. Sort of a centerpiece. The Khemri are declaring... It's a lot of... The Khemri are way over in the southeast part of the map. Like, we do not need to worry about that. We're only seeing these notifications because of our... the fact that we have land down there and we can kind of see what's going on. Alright, Savage Mantle seems pretty okay, so... Let's do the passing around. What did I want to give where? I wanted to trade... chariots over to Khazrak. Probably just like in exchange for the chaos spawn. Here, let's do this, and then we'll disband this unit of harpies to make room for the other Jabberslythe, the Vorbergland Broodmother. All right, and then we'll take one more turn of healing up time, and then Morgur will go into his quest battle, and I think we should be ready to do that. So how does this compare to the other Jabberslythe? Looks like this ability is different. So you have Searing Bile Blood. Target self, recharge while engaged in melee. Enemies hit by Vortex in melee combat, causes a bunch of bonus damage and sunders armor very strongly. As opposed to a normal Jabberslythe, which has... Okay, this one does not sunder armor, it just poisons. Interesting. And then, of course, there's a little bit of a stat difference, but that may just be from being higher level, because Regiments of Renown are always rank 9. So yeah, it seems like they must have changed the way that transferring units works, because it seems like under almost all circumstances now, transferring units completely kills an army's movement. Very strange. All right, let's progress along the road here with our scout. Try to figure out where the Hunts Marshal's armies are so that we know where to run the rest of these units. And then Khazrak the One-Eye can go meet up with Torox. Wow, actually, not very easily. Wait. Why? This is within the movement zone. Why am I getting a red X? Huh. I think maybe we're being misled about how much movement he is allowed here. So a lot of this area he's not actually allowed to move to. Well, it'll let me go there. That'll have to do, I guess. Here, Torox, hand over a giant. And then, like, do I want to also... I probably want to hold on to the Manticore. Having a flying unit around definitely has some utility. Do I also want to pass over a Gorgon? Because I kind of have a lot of giant monsters already. You know what? I'm going to give him the Cygor. Yeah, let's do that. And I guess give me a couple... I'll just burn these. Alright, Torox. Torox can, like, next turn recruit some better stuff for those slots. We could maybe buy increase in Minotaur capacity and just make extra Minotaurs there. Malagor is feeling mighty fast all of a sudden. Sure, just go ahead and get over here. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that. That's a very aggressive move. Malagor is actually maybe vulnerable to an army running out of the darkness and showing him who is the boss. I should have just kept him by the others. Yeah, stats up for Centaurs isn't too bad. Empire of Beasts, wow. -3 turns on enemy siege holdout time, so that's the amount of time it takes them to start starving. Is actually pretty significant. It's only 2 turns, and then we're getting upgrades to units that we're not using a huge amount of. Yeah, well, the opening skill in this, at least, is worthwhile. So note that we are currently showing up as very slightly more powerful than Eotane. I am wondering if post-destruction of the Hunts Marshal's expedition, maybe we don't even go to war with the Sentinels of Zeti right away. We just go ahead and complete the ritual at the Herdstone and then go to Elftown, because it seems like right now we have an advantage that could be pressed. Okay, is it time for Morgor II quest battle? I think so. I think his army's looking pretty mighty. There are other items in that favor thing that I would like to purchase for him, but it'll be a couple of turns before we're ready to do that. I think let's just commit to the quest. So, the Stave of Ruinous Corruption. Up against elves, doing elf stuff. We are predicted to be very successful. Listen, I don't do these quests until I feel like I'm very sure we're going to win. Because why would you want to pay all these resources to just go and lose your army? So, +4 leadership to somebody. Who wants +4 leadership? I don't know. I feel like it should probably actually be a Centaur. Because they're going to get out away from the rest of our units. They'll be doing stuff in places where they don't have backup. And then this lowers the armor of all nearby enemies. Honestly, probably also on Centaur. Put it on the great weapon ones, the ones that are going to be doing the sort of leading the charge. Now, this elf army does have a fair number of spears. We have to be careful about that. The spear units are going to be extremely effective against Centaurs. All spears give you bonus versus large. They're also going to be quite effective against the Chaos Spawns and the Jabberslides, although the Jabberslides they may just be too big for it to even really be a problem. But we're going to try to get the gore in on them as best as possible. And then we have magic to help with that as well. Ritual is well underway. Morgor cannot let Ariel and her minions take from him that which he has toiled over for so long. So was that it? Are we just hyping now? Okay. You gotta give the modelers and animators for this game a lot of credit. They've done a lot of great work on a lot of units. I think the Jabber slides are maybe some of the coolest ones they've ever done, honestly. Honestly, I'm a big fan of a lot of the Vampire Pirate units as well. But yeah, these are awesome. Chaos Spawn are real terrifying and gross. In case you didn't know what a Chaos Spawn looked like, this is it. This is what we're doing. And then, of course, we got a lot of other types of units that we are already familiar with. We haven't had a real close look at Centaurs. There's a couple of different kinds, right? The Centaurs with the great weapons have better armor piercing. That is generally the rule. Bigger weapon, armor pierces better. They also have this rowdy ability. So as long as you keep their leadership good, they are not running out of steam. Then we have different Centaurs that are wielding more normal sized like spears and shields and stuff. These guys have the low quality shields that block 35% of fire, which is pretty good. And then we have another set of Centaurs with throwing weapons around here somewhere. Here we go. So these guys have throwing axes at pretty short range, definitely like way shorter than you would expect from an archer or anything. But their weapons, throwing axes, generally have very good armor piercing relative to other missiles. And then this particular Regiment of Renown has poison on them as well, which is cool. And we're just going to have to be smart about our approach here. I do love that almost everything in the army has Vanguard deployment, but I don't really feel safe using it because we want to be backed up by the things that do not, in fact, have it. The Mage Queen sends forth her champions to slay you. Now, we don't have very good magic here, but we do have a couple of Centaurs, thanks to magic items. So let's just go ahead and start with that. God, look at the firing range on this thing. So here, try to focus on those. I'm not too worried about their own large units. I think we probably have their own large units under control to some extent. Our Centaurs should be very good at dealing with them. How long until you can do that again? Okay. It's going to be a minute. They're going to be close. Let's separate the Centaurs out a little bit. So ranged units on this side. I probably want to put the charging units... Here, I'm going to separate the charging units to both sides a little bit. Ah, they're getting healing. Well, that's annoying. All right, here begins the battle in earnest. So I'm going to have this Cygor attempt to focus on enemy archers in the other half of the battle, and now we gotta start doing stuff. So we don't have all that much traditional ranged. We do have an enemy elf on Eagleback here, who is a prime target for ranged attackers. Also, just these Glade Riders, they're easy to hit because they're large, so accuracy stuff matters a little bit less. I am going to have my own Centaur units here. Just charge at those ones. We gotta... Obviously, they're gonna run. And then I want my melee units at this point to just charge right up at them. This is gonna be a little rough because they have a lot more melee than we do in total. We mostly have shields on, so we'll absorb a lot of that fire. And I think I'm gonna try to send the Jabber slides out to the side a little bit. I would love to be able to corral them with our melee and then have the monster type units hit them in the back. I don't know how realistic that's going to be. We'll see. We'll see how things break. I'm going to have the Chaos Spawn basically just run right up the center. And then we haven't actually seen Morgur in close combat yet. He has 70 attack and 45 defense. Like, he's a good fighter. He has that, of course, that aura of transmutation, which is constantly doing work on enemies around him, and will turn them into Chaos Spawn some of the time. So we just have to keep him kind of close. We want him fighting, but we don't necessarily want him tanking a unit by himself. And you get up here because you are going to deploy some really, really annoying debuffs. Alright, so arrows in on the Glade Guard. Yep, this move is not working. I can't believe they executed this charge. I think they thought they were going to pick up some throwing axe units for free, but I think it's going to turn around on them very quickly. All right, so they moved their wood spirits up to catch the gore as they came in. That's probably pretty smart. Keep the spears in reserve, given how much of my army is large. So let's see. They have run some Wild Riders with shields out here. That's a very bad move on their part, in my opinion. I think we're just gonna have this Jabberslythe run right at their infantry over here. That first unit of Glade Riders is already pretty torn up, so that's going fine. Do I want to... I think I want to redirect these Chaos Spawn inward a little bit more with the way things have broken here, because I think the Jabberslythe is going to conquer that edge by himself. You know what? Pounce on their Glade Lord while it's distracted. And what does the effect area on Withering look like? It is single unit when overcast. Does it become an AoE? Oh, it does. And it's actually quite a nice one. All right, so armor and leadership down. Let's go ahead and drop that. You are going to try to run in and engage those spears. And wherever it is possible for our Chaos Spawn to try to just run through the archers, that's the move, right? Chaos Spawn will delete a unit of enemy archers with extreme prejudice. You know what? Get over here on these Wild Riders. I want to free up as many of these units as I can. Let's try to get the Jabberslythe on those. And actually, I'm gonna withdraw some of the Centaurs here. This thing will be over pretty quickly. We have better places for them. And the Cygors are doing their thing for the moment until they run out of ability to do their thing. Actually, you know what? You attack here. Let's form up and get a good containing charge. Right, get a little bit of distance. My suspicion is they're not going to be a big fan of what's happening here. You know what? It didn't hurt their morale as much as I thought it was going to. Alright, so we can see the area of our debuff. No, don't move over there, shoot over there. Actually, the Ungors may want to focus on these Glade Guards. You can see they've got those fire arrows. Elves are always doing magical everything. They can't help themselves. Pop your potion of strength and show that Glade Lord who is the boss in this encounter. Elot can probably get back over here. So yeah, the Jabberslythe is doing an okay job. The Jabberslythe is doing an okay job even against the anti-large units, just because he's so much more powerful than they are. Alright, follow those guys. I think we definitely want to pull some of our Centaurs through at this point. We've got... Their Glade Lord is just about dead, so we can disengage a lot of these units and have them run elsewhere. Like I was saying, just like focus Chaos Spawn on any archer that happens to be nearby. This is an unfortunate situation. I mean, we're not going to be able to do anything about it, really. We're wrapped all the way around this unit, so I guess they're just getting finished off. You break them. You keep working on the War Dancers. That's probably a pretty handy place for you to be. You can have both of those units. Keep that up. So Blackhorn's Ravagers have done really excellent work, considering they're just gore with shields. Let's keep up the pressure over there. This Jabberslythe is probably not needed in this area anymore. Let's just like run it toward the middle of the battlefield. My secondary Cygor is fallen apart, which is a shame. I'm just going to do some damage to those guys. I mean, for the most part, that's going to be a pretty weak spell, but I feel like this unit has a very little way to interact with the battlefield until his other spell comes off cooldown, so... Alright, I do believe the enemy lord is dead. Okay, this is really all they've got left. Here comes the charge, and yeah, they're broken. They're broken before the charge even connects. I don't know what kind of elf magic that's supposed to be, but it seems insufficient. Now, you could argue that I over-prepared a little bit, but listen, I know that I'm not the best player of this game. I know that my primary skill lies in the strategy map rather than the tactical map. So I just played at that. We'll get an economic and industrial advantage, and then we'll do an okay job at the war, and that'll be good enough. So I think that was Morger's only legendary item. Morger's a little behind on XP. He really needed this and needs to become part of the front in order to actually unlock all of his cool, powerful stuff. Also, I kind of can't believe that that Kazrak was only level 8 when we took him on there. He must have been spending a lot of time wounded. I presume that's why he was not leading the army that the one army that faction had, is because he had gotten wounded in battle. The AI is not always so careful with their with their characters, you know? So 1300 favor, or I think we'll just take the rage, honestly. So we've completed yet another challenge. Got ourselves a stave of ruinous corruption, which I think is honestly not that great, but also 1500 experience, which I'm overjoyed about. I mean, I'll tell you what it does do. It gives us a lot of corruption. That's something. That totally counts for something. All right, Manbane or Rune of the True Beast here. Like I said before, I'm definitely inclined to lean that way. Do you have any gold units? Yeah, I guess a couple of your units of Centaurs are regiments of renown, and then we have a couple that are pushing up into the silver ranks at least. So I think we probably... This is Best Gore... Okay, Creatures of the Herd. There we go. Centaurs, Chariots, Warhounds, Harpies. It's fine, I guess. And then he does want the Chaos Spawn boost as well. Yeah, I guess we'll grab Creatures of the Herd, because obviously I want to get Apocalyptic Vision. It's a very, very powerful skill. So we will build through there. You're going to pick up the last point of the Withering. Always with the Withering, this guy. So what else did we unlock? I don't even... Oh, you know what? This was the one for summoning a certain number of units, right? We hit the summon threshold. +1 use for Savage Dominion. Seems very, very good. We'll probably get that right after Empire of Beasts. Scout, go forth. So why did the Temple of Tlenkan go down? Ah, it went down because of an army from another one of the pirate zombie factions. Well, we have found the Huntsmaster. Actually, no, we haven't. He's not here. But his armies are here. The AI is not... They're not putting their legendary lords into practice as much as they should be, in my opinion. So Morger, the only way you're really going to be able to move is by doing this. And then I want to be a little bit cautious with the rest of us. Want to make sure that we're... Because remember, when we do the Beast Path movement, it gets us through the jungle way faster, but it also leaves us visible. So we'll have Kazrak come up here and just be visible. And then the rest of us will move in stealth in front of him. So that if anybody sees him hanging out there and tries to take the bait, decides to take the bait, we will devour them with these two armies. Nope. Sorry, Torox. Actually, Torox can't really get anywhere either, huh? Nope, sorry. You know what? They're not going to come at us. It's not going to matter. So with 5,000 favor, Do I want to upgrade a building or do I want to buy some of this stuff? I do, of course, want a battle-scarred Ungor Raider for everybody. It's just that and now I'm also thinking, like, it sure would be cool to buy 4 Champions essences. Yeah, we should probably be picking those up. They're going to help things so much. So let's throw one on the army that is furthest back first. Yeah, we should definitely get those resolved for everybody, and we'll figure out other costs later. I do think the Cygor summon was valuable enough to purchase ahead of time, though. Ikit Claw of Clan Scryer wants a non-aggression pact. Sure? I guess? I don't think that matters to us at all. So, I am a little bit wondering if maybe I should just hit the button on this. Because we needed 34 ruination for the next threshold, and I think that this thing should have 36 in it now, right? No, it has 30. Well... Alright, people are doing rights in all kinds of places I don't care about. Where did Ox spawn? Way back there. That's unfortunate. Yeah, I guess just get in the water and we'll figure it out later. He's going to have to sail through this reef, which is going to slow him down a little bit, I think, but... Well, you know what? We can just have multiple herdstones up at once. Why am I even worrying about this? So if we were to set one up there, the temple was just resettled, so it's not currently worth anything, but... Yeah, Zalutek might be a good spot for a new herdstone. Let's make that happen. So we get a 7-unit garrison with a 20-unit army. Oh, wow, it is real basic. Just the most basicest troops. Archers are not going to fare well against Taurox. I think that's the plan here is going to be bring Taurox to bear. Unfortunately, it is still going to take a little bit of movement. We are short on momentum. So cannot replenish campaign movement until you're at least at Harsh Rampage. Okay. So, like, the thing is, we just want to make absolutely sure we're close enough to attack next turn, because otherwise I'm going to lose my Rampage progress. Although I guess it's not enough to care about, probably. Alright, this time we're going to set up the trap correctly. So we have another army right next to you in ambush mode, covering you with their zone of control, so anybody who approaches will step into the ambush before they actually get Taurox. Then we can have these other armies just approach from behind, but at a great enough distance that they are not in reinforcement range, so it doesn't scare enemies off of attacking Taurox. And then you should just run up and do something. You gotta start earning your stripes here, friend. Let's just attack this army. 38%. Yeah, go for that. Alright, it's fine. Everybody falls the first time. Doesn't mean anything. Yeah, let's grab Kid on Unleashed. Oh right, I had intended to do a little bit of rehiring because obviously the Ungor here are not good. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Oh hey, that's the Itza faction. Are they big and powerful? They are showing us about as powerful as we are with 7 settlements. Okay. Well, their capital is of great import to us. I'm a little nervous to see them this far north. That might turn out to be a real thing. I guess we'll find out. Oh. Interesting. He's at war with the Hunts Marshals. Well, we're gonna be at war with Itza, like, that's a thing that we are absolutely planning on in the long term. Do I just declare war now and set up my herdstone? Is his conquering of that city going to reduce the amount of ruination it's worth? Okay, it's not so bad. Yeah, I think we are just declaring war this turn. The army he did the conquering with seems pretty small and weak, so... Okay, they got a couple of ancient salamanders. They have actual fire-breathing dinosaurs. It's not that small and weak. Who do I want to pick up XP most here? Morgur at level 11 is just about to get the XP necessary to access his special line. The Kazrak is about to get the XP necessary to access his next legendary, which is probably a higher priority. I guess let's go ahead and declare. I would like to offer you some violence. They are joined by their ally, another smaller lizardmen clan that we probably don't have to worry about right now. So really, what it should be that we do not use Torox for this, right? He's the one who needs the XP least. And if we attack with more armies, the XP is going to get divided up. It would actually be best for it to be Morgur plus... Yeah, that's the way we ought to do it. So why don't you just harass the army, I guess? 38%. Oh boy. Slowly but surely we'll get that early XP. And then, yeah, Morgur, come up here and smash. How many Jabberslides does it take to defeat this army? I don't know, but I do know how many we're going to use. And it turns out to be enough. We're not talking... Oh, right, I'm raising a herdstone. What am I talking about? I had a whole plan here. That's how long it takes for me to forget. We did successfully kill 3 enemy characters. I absolutely want Vision. Vision for sure. And then, yeah, because his blood ground extends way far down. And then I guess... I don't have the ability to increase movement speed for my units, right? I just decrease movement speed for everybody else's. And it's that or casualty replenishment rate. Honestly, you know what? I bet our replenishment rate is going to be fine because it takes so many turns of movement to get from place to place in this environment. We will have time to heal up. All right, I do want to take my unique stuff, but I want to grab Apocalyptic Visions first. And that got Kazrak part of the way. It was not a very big battle. And then you two can just push westward. I need Torox. There we go. All right. Torox just creeps a little bit. We are seeing the effects of Chaos Corruption already here. It looks like we've done an okay job.
Too much.
45% creeping toward 87. We sure did find the rest of them, though. Marcus Wolfheart has an army of... It's a lot of very, very basic units, but he has some fancy heroes over here. And then he does have a war wagon, or rather a unit of war wagons. It's basically just... It's like a cart. It's like a horse-drawn cart that has in it a bunch of guys with guns. But, like, it doesn't sound that impressive if you think about it in a modern war context. But in the context of what's going on right here, those are guns. I have concerns about that. I'm not a big fan of being shot at with guns. So, do we want to just expand our Minotaur cap and grab a couple more units of Minotaurs here? Right now I have 4 shield units. 1 great weapon and 2 normal ones, which are just kind of in the middle. So the Minotaurs with the great weapons, in addition to their armor piercing, are particularly good against large enemies. So I do feel like I want to increase that cap. And the question is the other unit another shield unit? No, I think maybe we have enough shields. Let's get some additional great weapon Minotaurs in here. And Malagor, who was not part of the other thing. Malagor can come over here and, like, raid, right? Yeah, we can move our full distance and then just be raiding. There we go. That will be annoying for them. Oh, right. I forgot. By not including Torox in the attack on Zahutek, I did reset my rampage. Ah, well, tiny little bit of a bar lost. You know, I will admit that I forgot about that and I made this attack because I was not thinking about rampage, but in the end, this was probably still right because it is a tiny amount of rampage, and getting these characters leveled up is more important, I think. I don't think we're going to send Ak back to Elf Island. I think we'll just have 2 functional scouts out here because we're about to be doing a lot of fighting, a lot of extended jungle fighting. And this does leave us with enough favor to purchase 1 more raider. So let's attach him to one of these armies. Who got one already? It was you. Okay, so since Kazrak is also sort of in the back now, Kazrak gets one. All right, let's see if they try to ride out and deal with the army that is raiding their territory or not. So I'd really like to complete this immediately, just so that we don't have to watch for attacks from the west. Aha, it worked. They're very silly. I mean, it's a good, reliable plan. The AI hates armies that are raiding their territory. So let's just go ahead and auto-resolve this battle. Obviously, very easy victory there. And I guess I'll take the Bestial Rage. They ran a second army into it. Wait, they failed to stop. I would have thought we would have been removed from ambush stance by the first ambush, but this enemy also failed to spot. Oh, all right. Weird. I'll take that Bestial Rage as well. It is not clear to me why I'm allowed to execute all 3 of these ambushes, but that's amazing. Okay. I do not think that that is how that is supposed to work. I'm pretty sure that when you successfully execute the first ambush, it reveals the army. But yeah, all 3 of them, one by one, ran into that while trying to position. That's remarkable. So the Ritual of Ruin is now available at Zahutek. We did, in fact, create some chaos. Got ourselves access to a fancy new... oh, and it put me at Harsh Rampage already? Wow. It was a lot of killing, I guess. That was wild. Yep, and a whole lot of their characters are now dead. You must take ambushes seriously. We got a ton of loot from them. Torox got a trait that we're not going to get a huge amount of use out of. Okay, missile strength plus 5% for the whole army is cool. And then missile resistance for a large unit like Torox is definitely a good thing. So... that guy's name is Soothsayer, really? So we're getting pressed by 2 big lizardmen armies from 2 different sides here. I think let's have Torox and Malagor. We'll just meet them 2-on-1 in both places. This should be fine, right? Here, let's just circle up on this for the moment. I want to make sure my reinforcements are in range when we do the thing. And I would love for you to have at least 10% movement left. Okay. So, now that we've got your Mantle of Crows, what else do we want? Do we want the rest of Something Wicked This Way Comes? Do we want to maybe take a little bit more magic stuff? We should get to Greater Arcane Conduit. So we have to spend 5 points in the previous box. Well, you have access to Savage Dominion. Let's get Savage Dominion. That seems like a no-brainer. And then Torox's whole army has levels up, right? That makes sense. He did a lot of very good work. So speed and charge bonus. He has 2 more skill points available still. So we're working toward Deadly Onslaught here, a self buff that just makes you do a lot of damage. Raw HP is a lot of survivability when you already have 150 armor and 60 melee defense. But we also could prioritize melee defense. What if just nobody ever hit him in melee? Or we could go weapon strength up. It is a lot of weapon strength. You know what? I'm going to start there. The best defense is dead enemies. People's DPS tends to go down a lot when they die. What is Will of the Dark Gods? Okay. A significant leadership and melee defense buff for everybody nearby. That's kind of cool. I think I'm going to grab Foe Seeker and Will of the Dark Gods. And do we want to move into this next box right away or to replace Foe Seeker? Oh, no, sorry. It gives you Deadly Onslaught in addition to Foe Seeker. So this is just about catching people. This is what you do to them once you've caught them. And next level, yeah, level 10 is where we will pick the specialization here. This one I think still needs just kind of like general fighting stats. I'm gonna get some melee defense on you. All right, now we take the battle very, very easily. And hell yeah, 10,000 favor. Wow, that backed me up a lot. I was not expecting the amount of getting forced backward that happened there. So I don't have enough movement. Yeah, I probably shouldn't move you. I guess I'm gonna also stealth you, but they're not close enough to be able to defend each other. Oh, this is not a real army. These are all just skinks. These are all look at their tiny little stats. 30 armor, only 8,000 health spread across 160 bodies. Like, whatever. Malagor's army will handle that just fine on its own. Here's a question. Do I want to kick out any of the stuff in Malagor's army right now for some of these cool new regiments that we unlocked? They should have a Cygor, I feel like. I know he can summon his own Cygors now, but also I'm gonna give him a Cygor. And do we want them to have the big Gorgon as well? The other Gorgon? We probably don't need all of the Gorgons to be in Torox's army. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna give you the other Gorgon. Somehow Torox is still leveling up. It's madness. He cannot be stopped. I will take the bonus. Man, let's take a Natural Thirst first because he has such good stats right now. That's probably the best boost to survivability, the largest one anyway. And then I'm gonna max out Spread Corruption next. I guess we're getting to the point where we just don't have any good skill points left with a couple of these characters. Zahutek should probably get some upgrades. How much do we want to slow down? So it does say the campaign movement range loss is only for enemies in the region of the stone, not in the whole blood ground. So maybe this one's not really worth upgrading, actually. Let's see here. Nope, sorry. I meant you need to keep learning spells. Or keep working toward your arcane conduit, obviously. So I think I want to step outside of the Herdstone. I want to be stealthed next to it. Can we... we can... Maybe we could reach them. Can you get close enough to provide reinforcements? Maybe? I'm gonna just lay the ambush here. We'll see what happens. We'll take a turn, give ourselves a little bit of approach time. So let's have you step. I wanna move in between the two things. Be close to them, but not. Yeah, there we go. You know what? I'm gonna raid. I'm gonna stand here in the open and raid, I guess. Never mind the ambush, because I'm just a little worried about our bestial rage. Yeah, alright. Hide for the moment. Not that I necessarily think the AI will attack the Herdstone, even if they can, because it does have quite a large garrison and it's like pretty good units. Well, there are harpies, but also there's minotaurs and stuff. Yeah, I don't know whether or not they'll be willing to attack. I think to some degree depends on what's in this army. So temple guards, pretty leveled up Sauruses. These are real melee troops. These are big tough dudes. You can see 56 melee defense and 60 armor on top of 10,000 health. It just takes a long time to hack through Saurus warriors, and then these ones additionally have 10% flat physical resistance. And this is quite a character. Man, this dude seems tough as hell. Okay, I'm concerned. 24-second 40-point melee attack buff? That's worrying. I could see how this army could maybe pose a real threat to us. Has our hero over here moved yet? He has not. Go do something to them. Make them not... Boy. Alright. Take a low percentage chance to do something to them. We gotta get you leveled up, you know? At least his failure was not critical. And now that we have that, what is next? Oh, we unlocked the Warherd. Right, because we got 3 attacks during the other player's turns part of that round. So, yeah, Warherd Ravages. Well, that's a very obvious research. Also, we are very obviously going to purchase the other 2 Battle-Scarred Ungor Raiders, and then we're going to be able to pick up some of this other stuff as well. What do you have that I think is least compelling? You know what we don't need anymore is Horde Growth. I think we have capped out on that. The Gift of Chaos is pretty good. The Scarecrow banner is pretty weak, I think. Yeah, it only affects enemy flying units. Let's just go ahead and replace that. And then we still have 12,000 favor. I kind of want to buy some of this other stuff. Like, I do think it would be cool to... I'm going to buy this. I don't know that Torox really needs the help. Torox's army is definitely already the best one, but I really want to see a unit of Minotaurs with that on them. So I think of the stuff here, probably it's the Zealot that we lose, because we just... Yeah, one of these two, because we just don't really care that much about the Chaos Corruption. One of those units of Minotaurs is going to be so powerful. And then from there... The mutated Gorgonhide's not bad. We could get ourselves some we could save up for some more Blind Eyes and Champions Essences. That's probably the right move. I don't know that we need a lot more buildings in our war herds or anything, except, yeah, sorry, Kazrak's army, like, desperately needs a lot of the basics. I guess that's a thing we're going to be spending a lot of favor on. We still have lots of dread, too. Don't really have a good idea for what to do with it all. I mean, unit caps, right? What we should do is we should expand the basic unit caps. He did, in fact, do it. He just ran right into the ambush. So we set up close enough to the Herdstone that the Herdstone units get to show up as reinforcements. But we put Kazrak out front. Kazrak's army's kind of bad. Like, this is not the way you want to engage an ambush with a bunch of crappy units, but they do all have poison, remember. And then we have Morgur's stuff show up for reinforcements, and we just crump up these dudes real bad. They had some Croxagores rather, and some Ogres, and Chameleon Stalkers. I don't even know what those are. They have Precursor missile weapons. Wait a minute. A Precursor missile weapon typically has low range and small amount of ammunition. Huh. Is that what Okay, we're gonna have plenty of time to fight these guys. We will find out what those look like. For now, I'm just going to consume them in the ambush. They have got to stop falling for that. You know what? You just need the Bestial Rage. Yeah, it seems like maybe the AI is just they're not ready to handle ambush tactics, which is really bad news for them because like our army has ambush tactics built into every part of our mechanics. And that'll give Kazrak the trait for defeating that dude was a legendary lord, so we do get a trait out of that. I don't think I've ever fought him before. He's a pretty recent addition to the game, so I do not know what this trait is. Leadership up for the whole army and... Okay, well, hold on a second, you. We'll get to that. Show me the thing here. Expert charge defense. Negates the charge bonus of any attacker. Most units that have charge defense have a specific... They specifically only get their charge defense against large things. So like spears negate the charge bonus of cavalry that hit them. That's really interesting. And like leadership up for the whole army, obviously, is very cool. All right, the Crooked Moon were killed way off over the east. The Court of Liberis, which is even easter than that. Just a lot of stuff happening that does not matter to us at all. And Kazrak got his other quest. We had to move a character to Ostland. Okay. That's going to be a bit of a trip. With the venom in One Eye's possession, Graktar has vanished. The Beast Lord must have been weaker than even Kazrak suspected. Graktar's Bray shamans must have read their own darkling omens and have got wind of the One Eye's plans. The fleeing Beast Lord must be found quickly before he can amass a large herd to protect him. Black-hearted crows bring word of possible herd movements in Esk. So I'm assuming that this text is referring to stuff from the previous legendary quest that we came in on kind of late. Here's the thing about Ostland. This is where Ostland is. So I guess we're just gonna send some. We're just gonna have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to ship somebody over there. No, do not do that. I'm trying to select this army. So it wouldn't be too hard for us to pick up the ability to spawn another hero. You guys just didn't move forward at all. Soothsayer was replaced with Simpson. You know, I get it though. He does look just like Bart. Oh no, Soothsayer came forward and settled because he did not see my armies here. I'm kind of surprised that him doing that didn't trigger Malagor's ambush, because like look at where Malagor's circle ends. Well, I mean, whatever. That dude is lunch now. Yeah, weird. Okay, so we'll spawn a new hero and we'll just have them sail all the way over to Ostland. That's how we'll handle that. It's going to take a really, really long time. And it really sounds like a problem for tomorrow, SB, because we are out of time for today. Thank you all so much for watching. This is where things are going to start getting a little bit difficult. We're up against enemies who are better against the kinds of units we have, who have like a significant economic base and can actually generate the number of troops necessary to threaten us, and also have a massive terrain advantage because fighting in the jungle sucks. So come back next time to figure out if we can, to see if we can figure out a way to deal with all of that nonsense. And we'll see you then.